Good morning. This is Miss Nancy coming to you from the Upper Chichester Library in Upper Chichester, Pennsylvania. I hope that you've had a good night's sleep and that you're refreshed and ready to sit down and enjoy some stories with me. The first story that I thought I would read is called Thomas and the Big, Big Bridge. Now this is from a series, it's called the Railway Series, with Thomas the Train, written by Reverend W. Aubrey. The illustrations here are by Tom LaPadula and Paul Lopez, and I hope you'll enjoy the pictures as we go through this. It's a story, this particular story is about Thomas who's afraid of something he hasn't tried to do before. Let's see what happens. It was a special day for the railway. We are here to launch the new rail lines through the mountains of Sodor, Sir Topham-the-Hat announced. Today, we open the Big, Big Bridge. What wonderful news! Everyone cheered. The mountains were beautiful, and the people of Sodor couldn't wait to visit them. Everyone wanted to see the Big, Big Bridge. It had towers so high the tops touched the sky, and the valley beneath was so deep that when you were on the Big, Big Bridge, you could hardly see the ground. Thomas was excited about the new rail line. This really is a special day, he said happily. Then Henry chugged up to Thomas. The big engine frowned. Oh, he has quite a frown on his face, doesn't he? I don't want to go to the mountains, Henry said nervously. It's windy up there, very, very windy. Henry didn't like the wind. Henry didn't like rain or snow or hail either. You've a big engine, Henry, Thomas said. You shouldn't be afraid of a little bit of wind. But Henry was afraid, and that made Thomas a bit afraid too. Gordon, Henry, Thomas, hitch up your coaches, called Sir Topham-the-Hat. It's time for your first trip to the mountains. Percy and James were glad they didn't have to go to the mountains. They were afraid to cross the Big, Big Bridge, too. There's nothing to be afraid of, Thomas insisted, in a voice loud enough for Percy and James to hear. It will be easy to cross the Big, Big Bridge. Thomas and Henry chugged to the platform. Gordon, the express engine, was already there. His coaches were full of passengers, ready to go. Annie and Clarabelle were soon hitched behind Thomas. Hurry, hurry, they called. All aboard, said Mr. Conductor. Sir Topham-the-Hat turned to the crowd and waved his hat one last time. Toot, toot, Gordon whistled. Follow me. In a burst of steam, the big blue engine was off. See all the people waving flags? This is like a special day in the railroad. They have all kinds of flags and bunting out. They are opening the Big, Big Bridge. Soon, the trains were rolling through the countryside in a long line. Gordon took the lead, and behind him chugged Henry. Then, because he was the smallest, came Thomas. All along the way, people came out of their houses and cheered when they saw the trains going by. At the foot of the mountain, Henry slowed to a crawl. These mountains are much too high, he moaned. I can't go. I'm afraid of heights. Don't be silly, said Thomas bravely. I'll be right behind you. But Henry didn't budge. He was very nervous, and that made Thomas nervous too. Come on, Thomas, gently pushed Henry. We have to go. The brand new tracks were smooth and shiny, but Henry barely moved along them. The truth was, Henry didn't want to reach the top of the mountain, because then he'd have to cross the Big, Big Bridge. If Henry and James and and Percy are all afraid, thought Thomas. Maybe I should be frightened too. The tracks grew steeper. Oh, look at this. The mountain is very steep. As Thomas and Henry puffed up the mountain, they could hardly keep up with Gordon. The big blue engine just rushed ahead. Gordon was a strong engine. The steep tracks did not tire him at all. "Wait for us," Henry called. But Gordon climbed higher and higher until he was out of sight. "I don't think I can make it," Henry groaned, his steam giving out at last. "This mountain is just too steep." "Keep going," Thomas urged him. "We can't let a little mountain like this stop us." But Thomas was having trouble chugging up the steep mountain too, and he was beginning to worry about crossing that big bridge. Oh, there's the big bridge. Finally, Thomas and Henry arrived at the top of the mountain. There it was, the big bridge, and it was high. It was windy up there too, very, very windy. "I won't go," Henry declared. "But you have to cross," Thomas said bravely. "Our passengers want to see the mountains on the other side." "Hurry, hurry," Anna and Clarabelle cried. The coaches were so excited that Thomas had trouble keeping them in line. Thomas searched the tracks ahead. Gordon was nowhere to be seen. He had already crossed the bridge and gone into the mountains beyond. Thomas and Henry were alone. "I'll go first," Thomas said, at last. "Then you can follow me, Henry." "If the wind blows, close your eyes," Henry said. "That way you won't see anything scary." Uh-oh. Click-clack, click-clack, click-clack. Thomas began to cross the bridge. Thomas looked up. He could see cottony clouds touching the top of the bridge. Nervously, he looked down, but the bridge was so high he couldn't even see the ground. A sudden gust of wind shook the bridge. This scared Thomas, and he closed his eyes so tightly that he couldn't see where he was going. Click-clack, click-clack, click-crash! Thomas came to a sudden stop. He opened one eye for a quick peek. "Oh, no," he cried. His wheels were off the track. Now that is a real big problem for a train. "Are you all right, Thomas?" called Henry. "I'm stuck," Thomas said glumly. "I couldn't see where I was going, and my front wheels have jumped the track." Just then Gordon returned. He frowned when he saw Thomas stuck in the middle of the bridge. "Go find Harold," Gordon called to Henry. Relieved, Henry backed down the mountain to find the helicopter. Thomas kept his eyes closed. He was simply too afraid to look. But inside his coaches, the passengers enjoyed the wonderful view. Finally, Thomas heard the whirl of rotors. Harold was there to rescue him. Slowly, Thomas opened his eyes, and he looked at the blue sky above and the green mountains all around. "What a lovely view!" he exclaimed. "I was silly to shut my eyes. I almost missed everything." "Hitch the rope to your buffer and hold on," Harold cried. In no time at all, Harold had lifted Thomas back onto the tracks. See, here's the helicopter that comes. They had a rope that they were able to tie onto his here so that he could be pulled back onto the track. "Come on, Henry," said Thomas. "The view is spectacular. I should never have been afraid." With that, Thomas turned and chugged happily across the big bridge, and Henry watched in wonder. "If he's not afraid, maybe I shouldn't be either," Henry decided. Slowly, the big green engine made his way across the bridge, too. Sir Thomas and Henry arrived at the station house. Soon Thomas and Henry arrived at the station house. The mountains were really lovely. Everyone was happy to have seen them, but Thomas was the happiest one of all. He was proud that he had crossed that big, big bridge and found out that there was nothing to be afraid of. So that is the end of Thomas. I have a grandson who is almost 4 years old, and he really enjoys these Thomas books. I hope you enjoyed this one as well. Now, the next story I'm going to read is all about Daniel Tiger. Now, Daniel Tiger, I know, is a TV show that sometimes you watch in the morning, or some children watch it in the morning. And this is a storybook all about Daniel's life. And I'm reading a story called Daniel's New Friend. And this is a picture of his new friend. There's other stories in here in this book that I'll read to you other days, but I'm going to start with this one today, called Daniel's New Friend. It was a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and Daniel and Miss Elena went to Prince Wednesday's castle to play. "A royal welcome," said Queen Sarah Saturday. When Miss Elena and Daniel got to Prince Wednesday's room, they saw someone they didn't know. "Hi, what's your name?" asked Miss Elena. "That's my cousin Chrissy," said Prince Wednesday. "Hi, Chrissy," said Daniel. "It's nice to know you," Chrissy smiled. "We're playing knights," said Prince Wednesday. "I'll be the big knight," said Miss Elena, picking a knight up from the table. "And I'll be the silver knight," said Daniel. "And I'll be the flying knight," said Chrissy, making her knight fly into the air. "Look out below." You can see all their little horses with the knights on them. It looks like all the knights have shields and their lances. "Now let's dress up like knights," said Prince Wednesday. "I have a knight costume." "Terrific idea," said Daniel. Prince Wednesday asked his mom, Queen Sarah Saturday, to help him find his knight costume. "Here they are," Prince Wednesday exclaimed after he found the costumes in his dress-up trunk. I hope you children at home all have some dress-up trunks of your own, because it's fun to dress up and pretend. Daniel and Miss Elena jumped up and ran over to Prince Wednesday to get a costume, but Chrissy didn't get up. "Chrissy," called Daniel, "don't you want to play?" "I'm coming," said Chrissy. "I'm coming. But I need my crutches to stand." Queen Sarah Saturday gave Chrissy her crutches, and Chrissy slowly stood up. Daniel could see she had something on her legs. "What's on your legs?" he asked. "My legs can't walk on their own," said Chrissy. "So the braces help me walk." Daniel had never seen crutches or braces before. "Can I touch your braces?" asked Daniel. "Sure," said Chrissy. "It won't hurt me." Daniel felt Chrissy's braces. They felt smooth and cool. "Do you wear your braces all the time?" asked Miss Elena. "Not all the time," replied Chrissy. "Not when I sleep or take a bath. But most of the time, I even wear them to school." "You go to school?" asked Daniel. "We go to school, too." "I'm just like you," said Chrissy. "But the way I walk is different." Oh, here's a nice picture of Chrissy and Queen Sarah Saturday. "In some ways we are all different, but in so many ways we are the same," said Queen Sarah Saturday. "You walk differently from each other, but you are all the same in other ways. You all go to school, you all like to play, and we all have things about us that are the same and things about us that are different." Daniel thought about what Queen Sarah Saturday said. "So, do you like to play pretend?" he asked Chrissy. "Oh, I love to play pretend," Chrissy smiled. "It's my favorite. "Really?" exclaimed Daniel. "It's my favorite too." "You have the same favorite thing," cheered Miss Elena. "So let's play," exclaimed Prince Wednesday. "Roar," said Prince Wednesday. "I am a dragon." "Careful, don't bump Chrissy," said Daniel. "It's okay, Daniel. Sometimes I do need extra help," said Chrissy. "But I also like to do things by myself, just like you. And right now, I am brave Knight Chrissy." "And I am brave Knight Daniel," said Daniel, giggling. Daniel imagined and pretended that he was a brave flying knight, flying over a dragon to the castle. "Come on, Knight," said Miss Elena. "Let's stop that dragon." Daniel, Prince Wednesday, and Miss Elena ran around Prince Wednesday's room. Around and around they went until Daniel noticed Chrissy was going slower than everyone else. "Come on, Knight Chrissy," exclaimed Daniel. "We have to go fast to catch the dragon." Chrissy shook her head. "I can't go as fast as you can." "Oh, no," said Daniel. "If you can't go as fast as us, then maybe we should stop playing." But Chrissy didn't want to stop playing. "I like being a knight," she told Daniel. "I just need to play a different way." "What do you mean?" asked Daniel. "When you play knight, you run around. When I play knight, I stand and guard the castle," Chrissy explained. Daniel thought Chrissy really did look like a brave and bold guard for the castle. "We can all be knights," he said, "just different kinds of knights." "Not me," said Prince Wednesday. "I am a dragon." "Come on, knights," said Daniel. "Let's stop that dragon." "I like Chrissy as a new friend," said Daniel Tiger, "and I hope you do too. Ugga mugga." I hope you enjoyed that Daniel Tiger story. I have more stories in that book that I'll read to you at other times. What that story was talking about, though, is how important it is for us to be comfortable with other people's differences. You know, the little Chrissy was wearing braces because she needed them to help her walk. And when you go to school, you will probably find other children, not necessarily wearing braces, but you might find other children who are a little different from you. And that's okay. They like to play and they like to pretend and dress up and be a knight. And be knights as well. Okay, the last story that I'm going to read today is a Disney story about Thumper. And again, I'm sure that many of you have seen Disney animated films about little bunny rabbits, as well as all sorts of other things that we will read from time to time. Now, this story is called Thumper's Nighttime Adventure. One beautiful day, Thumper was playing outside in the sunshine. As he was exploring the forest, he spotted his friend Dizzy, the opossum. Notice the opossum is hanging upside down by his tail. "Hiya," Thumper said. "Want to come play?" Dizzy yawned. "It sounds fun," he said sleepily, "but I'm getting ready for a nap. Maybe next time, okay?" "Okay," Thumper said, and he scampered off. Thumper and Dizzy had been friends for a while, so Thumper knew the opossum napped a lot during the day. But would Dizzy really rather sleep than play? Later, Thumper asked his papa, "Why is Dizzy always so sleepy?" "Ah," said Papa, "well, he's not always sleepy. Opossums are nocturnal. That means they sleep a lot during the day. Then they are awake at night when we bunnies are sleeping. Papa led Thumper to a nearby cave. These bats are nocturnal too, Papa said. Right now they are getting ready to rest. But they spend most of the night flying outside looking for food. Well, thought Thumper, awake all night? No wonder Dizzy was so sleepy. That evening, as the bunnies chased butterflies, Thumper thought about what his father had said. Soon Dizzy will be waking up, Thumper thought. I wonder what nocturnal animals do all night. He's very curious. Let's see what he decides to do. When Thumper and his sisters hopped home for bedtime, Thumper thought about the exciting things he might miss while he was asleep. Did the bats play tag under the stars? Did the opossum family have midnight picnics? Before long, Thumper's sisters were sound asleep. Soon after his mama and papa started to snore, Thumper was still wide awake. What do you think he's going to do? Slowly and silently, Thumper hopped to the burrow entrance and poked his head out into the cool night. The moon was bright. The stars twinkled. Thumper went just outside the burrow and sniffed the air. He hopped a little further and he sniffed again. Thumper knew he shouldn't go out without his parents' permission, but he couldn't stop thinking about the nighttime fun he might be missing. Thumper's curiosity soon got the better of him, and he bounded quickly down the path. Let's hope he doesn't get into too much trouble. Before Thumper knew it, he had hopped all the way to the opossum's favorite tree. Dizzy was very surprised to see Thumper. "Shouldn't you be home sleeping?" he asked. Thumper giggled. I came to see what other animals do at night," he said. "I've never been out this late before." "Well," Dizzy said, "my family is just about to eat breakfast. Do you want to join us?" So Thumper had a late-night breakfast with the opossum family. They had the same blackberries that Thumper usually ate during the day. I guess breakfast wasn't so different after all, Thumper thought. After thanking the opossums, Thumper hopped away to find more nocturnal friends. Oh, look who he's finding here. Thumper walked through the darkness, and he was startled by a voice. "Who's there?" Friend Owl asked from a nearby tree stump. "It's Thumper," the bunny replied. "Would you like to play?" "Can't play. Looking for grass to fix up my nest," the owl said. "Very busy tonight. Very busy, you know." "Can I look too?" Thumper asked. Together they gathered up dry grass for the inside of Thumper's owl nest. It was just like the grass on Thumper's bed. "Thank you," Friend Owl called as he flew away. Thumper hopped down to the pond, where he saw some skunks. "What are you up to?" Thumper asked. "We're off to take a bath," said one skunk. "Some animals think that skunks stink," said the second skunk. "Not us," said the third. "We take baths every night." The skunks walked over to the shallow edge of the pool where Thumper and his sisters took their baths. Thumper could take a bath anytime, so he waved to the skunks and kept on hopping. On the far side of the pond, Thumper saw a mama duck and her ducklings snuggled all together. Thumper yawned. The ducks looked warm and comfy, and it was getting awfully late. Up in a tree, Thumper saw a squirrel and a chipmunk sound asleep. They seemed so peaceful and cozy. Thought Thumper. They don't seem worried about missing nighttime fun at all. Thumper stood very still and listened to the sounds of the night. The crickets were chirping, the frogs were croaking. Now and then wings fluttered through the darkness overhead. Thumper knew they were the sounds of nighttime animals all around him. But they were also sleepy sounds. At that moment, all Thumper wanted was to be in his burrow, snuggled up with his family. I think he's getting sleepy. To be up all day and then try to be up at night, that's hard. Thumper hurried home. He hopped silently inside, expecting to find his family sleeping, just as he had left them. Instead, his sisters rushed to his side. "Oh, Thumper!" exclaimed Daisy. "We were starting to worry." "Thank goodness you're back," said Tessie. Mama and Papa had sterner words for Thumper. "Daisy is right. We were very worried. You could have gotten hurt," Papa said. "Papa was about to go out looking for you," Mama said. "I'm sorry," Thumper said. He hadn't meant to worry them, but he knew he shouldn't have left without asking. "I just wondered what it was like to be nocturnal." Papa patted Thumper's head. "I understand that you were curious, but you must promise never, ever, ever to go out at night without permission again." "I promise," Thumper said. Thumper's parents gave him some extra chores as a punishment. He would have to find blueberries for the dinner. He'd have to gather some grass for the bunnies' beds, and he'd have to take his sisters to their bathing place. As Thumper got ready for bed, he realized that doing chores was a little bit like his nocturnal adventure had been. He had eaten blueberries with the opossums, he had collected grass with friend Al, and he had visited with the very clean skunks. "I guess I wasn't missing anything after all," he said to himself. Even though his nighttime adventure had been exciting, nothing was better than snuggling down in his warm, cozy burrow for a good night's sleep. Sometimes curiosity can get the better of us, but we can always understand why people might be curious to find out things they don't know. It's very important, though, to always ask your parents' permission, because they need to always know where you are at all times. Now, that is the end of the stories for today. I would just like to mention a couple of things that are happening at the Upper Chichester Library this summer. We have summer reading for anyone who wants to sign up for it. There's also a camp that the Upper Chi Township is going to be holding this summer up at Fury Road. The library is, we're working with the Upper Chi Township on some evenings, in Tuesday evenings. There's going to be a kickoff party for our summer reading program on June 15th at 6:30. At that time, Mr. Andrews is going to play some music for everyone. There'll be some free food and then free fun for the families. Children can sign up for the reading club, get your reading logs and start reading, and then there will be prizes given out all summer for completing your various reading logs. Then on other Tuesday evenings throughout June and July, we will be having some special events. On June 22nd, a local beekeeper will be coming to talk about honeybees. And then on June 29th, we're having a magician who will come and entertain everyone with his magic. And July 6th, our local police dog Elu will be visiting. And then July 13th, the Pirates from Marcus Hook will be making a presentation. And then July 20th, that has not been quite determined yet, but maybe by the next time I read you some stories, we will know what that activity will be. And then July 29th, that will be the end of the end of the summer ice cream social party. Mr. Andrew will be playing music. It will be free, and prizes will be given out for the summer reading program at that time. So I hope you all will be interested in coming to get your reading logs and do your own reading during the summer. You can always come to the library and get any of these books for reading or for looking at. You can take them home and have your moms read them to you. So I hope you'll join us, and I hope you enjoyed our morning session, and I'll see you next Monday. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.